Donald Trump just announced a critical piece of the puzzle to make America safer again. He's involving the Department of Justice in what he calls the Model Cities Initiative. And this is where they're going to deploy extra resources from the big, beautiful bill and start to put a model together for cities that want to back the blue, to decrease crime, and to make sure that their cities and streets are safe.
President Trump promised the American people that this administration will restore law and order, back the blue, and make America safe again. We have already seen incredible success in Washington, D.C. and Memphis, Tennessee, and now the Department of Justice is excited to announce the next step in that commitment, the Model Cities Initiative.
This is great news for MAGA, and this is great news for the Trump administration. They've been recently accused of being distracted by overseas issues. This domestic policy, and specifically making America safer again, was a stump speech promise, and is a promise that the Trump administration is going to deliver on. Let's get to the details.
From the very first day I took office, our administration has waged the most successful war on crime in American history. Last year, the murder rate saw the single largest decline ever recorded, falling to the lowest level in 125 years.
Great.
We've reduced the fentanyl coming across our border by 60%, from Washington to Memphis to New Orleans to our southern border. We are restoring law and order to America. Now we're taking our next big step to defend public safety in America. At my direction, the Department of Justice is beginning what we're calling the Model Cities Initiative to slash violent crime in major metropolitan areas all across our country. In selected cities, the Department of Justice will provide $300 million in grants to hire police officers, modernize equipment, provide training, and improve law enforcement. This historic funding will go to confronting substance abuse, preventing youth crime, and combating repeat offenders.
Good.
In short, we're committed to making historic investments in improving the quality of life of city residents nationwide. For the next 90 days, any city or local government representing a population of more than 100,000 people can apply to take part in this exciting new program. It's amazing. Tell your local representatives to apply now by going to www.justice.gov/grants. With your help, we will put more police on our streets, and we will put dangerous criminals behind bars where they belong, and we want to keep them there.
So again, this focus and this turn for Donald Trump to get back to domestic issues, it's critical. The Democrats are struggling right now with a progressive message that's not resonating. And as you can see, there's been numbers of articles and news stories on Antifa hitting the streets, on protesters all over the Northeast corridor, going to ICE facilities, and agitators, sponsored professional agitators, hitting the streets as well. I know that also in the Southeast, there's been numbers of these youth kind of takeovers, is what they're calling them. But they're ultimately just a bunch of youth that are going ragtag all over the cities. And we need to be able to send a clear message that there's not going to be a summer of love. There's not going to be professional agitators that are allowed to create chaos. There's not going to be, as Donald Trump said, repeat offenders that are going to be getting released from our incarcerated systems and get back to the streets. So the key piece of this puzzle, I think that all of us need to see, is that these funds are not available just to large cities. It's 100,000 citizens and up, and the state representatives and the city representatives need to submit their interest to be able to get these funds. I think this is outstanding news because the majority of Americans don't live in these dense cities, some of which are controlled by Democrat mayors, right? Look at Los Angeles, And look at New York City, look at Chicago. If we start to take these major metropolitan cities out of the mix and also deploy funds to the 100,000 and up, this is a winning message. This is how Donald Trump gets momentum back from the distractions of the overseas wars and back to the domestic issues. So the Model Cities Initiative has been announced. This is where, again, we can make America safer again. This is what we voted for, and this is ultimately the model that Trump was testing in Memphis and other cities, as he was flooding them with extra federal resources to be able to get major crimes down, major infrastructure built for safety and technology, and ultimately refund police forces that were decimated for years. We need to back the blue, and we need to make our streets safer again. And Donald Trump has now put a pinpoint of attention back onto this. The Model Cities Initiative. Keep an eye out for it. If you've yet to subscribe to the Chris Locke Show, please do so. We'd love to have you along for the ride. What I take out of this is that the Trump administration is now going to turn their attention to domestic issues as we're moving into the midterm season. This is critical. The distraction overseas and these endless wars, we don't want that. We want to be able to make, in this instance, our streets safer again. You agree with me? If you've yet to subscribe to the show, please do so. We'd love to have you along for the ride. And secondly, please share and like this video. We need to be able to get messages like this that resound our foundation of our MAGA platform of making America safer again. We need to get this out. We need to make sure that more people are aware of what this is all about. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Chris Locke Show for the latest America First news, conservative commentary, and the stories that mainstream media refuses to cover. These two videos right up here, they're going to be next. Pick your favorite. I'll see you over there.